welcome to Impact Wrestling. Now, before I get started with my Impact review, I was asked by one of my subscribers, I believe it was, who was it? Oh, I can't remember. Eric. I believe his first name is Eric. If I got it wrong, I'm so sorry, guy. You know I'm bad with names. But he asked me, what did I think about NWA Power and this episode? Well, I did watch it. I did watch NWA. And I thought it was a bit interesting. Nick Aldis pulling out Latimer as well as Adonis because they had a chance to go up against the tag champs, Credos and Aaron Stevens, and he said, no, you're not doing it. Because now if my men win, he didn't say that Chris Adonis was fully part of Strictly Business, but it's easily implied because he was there at the podium when they were talking. So he's saying if no current champion can go into the Battle Royal, he says, no, that ain't going to happen. I'm pulling these guys out of the tag match so they can get into the Battle Royal and have their shot at going after the 10 pounds of gold. That's it. That's what he generally said. So I thought that was interesting. Then you had the Thunder Rosa and the Camille section of the show. And that just seemed a bit cringe. Like I said before, I don't think Camille is a bad at all talent. She still is green, particularly when it comes to talking, because she never really talked on NWA. Now, wherever else she was before NWA, she really didn't get enough time to talk because you can hear in her voice, she got a southern voice. She's sexy. She's like, even if she is, she's still zoom. Yes, she's gorgeous. But if you take into account the work in the ring as well as her talking, you can see she is not that good at talking. That is one of her weak spots. And it would have been better for let her, if Terrence Terrell had talked for her, it would have been better. But she didn't let Terrence talk. She talked for herself. Kind of like a Jade Cargill in AEW where she should not be talking much. She is muscle. Jade is muscle like Camille. And to be honest, Camille is not as good as you think she is. At least not yet. She needs to talk more. And I'm glad she's in NWA. If this was WWE, forget it. She'd be scripted just like Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley on NXT, and I did see her more than a few times. When they allowed her to be her, she didn't have a problem doing a promo. Now she has to rehearse script lines. And she sounds so cringe and rehearsed. There is no life in her. She's just either looking at cue cards or a teleprompter, or she's trying to remember her lines and she just looks cringe trying to remember. It's not that she don't got the brains. It's not everyone is suited to reading a script. They're better off ad-libbing. And when it comes to Camille, she's not there yet. But at least in NWA, she's going to learn how to be there. So I'm glad about that. I could say more about what happened with the rest of the show, but I'm going to leave it at that. I will say the show was pretty good. And especially the camera work. I don't know if anyone even saw my videos, why would they look at me? I'm just some stupid little YouTuber with a channel that barely anyone sees. And I'm kind of hoping that the companies did see, because I'm also going to talk about Impact when it comes to the camera work. But I will say NWA's camera work has gotten better. It's not as botchy as it was. So it looks better. And I will say this about Impact Wrestling as well. I'm going into Impact. The camera work was much better. Somebody in the production truck realized, whoa, we've been messing up our camera work. Let's try to be more thorough with it. You can see the difference. And I don't have any obligatory shots because I thought it's not necessary, especially now I'm not myself. I'm still kind of tired from my medicine. After I edit this, I got to go and take my medicine again. I have to take it every 6 hours. And think about it. I got to eat something generally. And then I got to take it. And then I get tired and I want to sleep. But at least I am getting a bit better. I'm getting better. Still some more time to go through it. But talking about Impact, the obligatory shots were not necessary here because they were very brief. And Impact, whoever's running the production, realized they were screwing up. So it's much more tighter. There were still some botches, but it was minor. So I'm going to put it to that. Now, we had Rosemary versus Havoc. And I understand why they did this. They needed Dana Peralta to go up against somebody. And now you got Havoc going against Rosemary. Now, who did I want win? Here's the problem. They haven't really done much with Rosemary, and the story between Havoc and Nevaeh was really stupid. Flat out, it was stupid. So seeing this, I can tell you that I didn't really have an investment in it. Because yes, they are rebuilding Decay. They are rebuilding Decay. I will say that. Seeing a Rosemary with tarot cards with the card of death on it is a nice touch. That does help. But we need more backstage segments with Decay. We need more interviews with Decay. And seeing that Dark Tyru destroys people more and more every time he gets in the ring. Yes, I will get to Brian Myers next, but you get my point. And Havoc won. But do I think that was the right decision? It could have been Havoc or Rosemary. It didn't make a difference. The key here is that we've seen Rosemary go up against Havoc. We've seen Rosemary go up against Dana Purrazzo. We have not seen Dana Purrazzo go up much against Havoc. At least it's a fresh match. But it could have been either one, because neither one of them has gone up against Dana Purrazzo, either one, very rarely, and that's Rosemary, or Havoc, which is almost never. At least on Impact Wrestling, so I was fine with it. Now, we got the six-way for the X Division. You got Petey Williams, which was nice to see. You got TJP, you got the El Fantasmo, you got Raju, then you got Ace, and then surprising AC Romero. I actually enjoyed seeing AC Romero in this match. I'm glad it wasn't Larry D. Larry D is much more agile than AC. There's no lying about that. But seeing that AC was in this match gave it a different dynamic you never see in the X Division. You got a 400-pound guy who, yes, he's not super fast in the ring. He's not. But compared to most big guys, he's athletic. Yes, the guy's got a belly bigger than my body, but it doesn't take anything away from his skill in the ring. He can go. For a guy of his size, he made the match way more interesting. If you didn't like it because he was in it, that's more power to you. But for me, it was damn good. It wasn't the most greatest match I've ever seen. No. But having a really big guy in a match with 5 little guys, it was a match you can easily say for this year was one of the better quality ones. In the end, who was the one that won? It was, El Fantasmo from the Bullet Club of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, as I said in my AEW review, when it comes to Eugene Nagata, is he more important than El Fantasmo? As a guy who doesn't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, because, if they don't have subtitles, I can't figure out what they're saying. I don't know what's going on unless I watch in the ring. Unless they got an American or European or even a Mexican commentator who can speak English, I don't know what's going on, particularly knowing about El Fantasmo. But when you look at this, is it the wisest thing having him go up against Josh Alexander? No. Because, yes, he's going to Under Siege. That's just an Impact Plus show. But still, yes, he'll be a new, fresh match for... I'm kind of crapping on this, but I don't want to crap on it. It's a new match for Josh Alexander. But it's someone who's come in from another promotion for the first time that we barely even see much of, barely even heard of. No interviews, no promo segments, no nothing. It's just blank. Blank, guys. If he'd been there a couple of weeks beforehand, or at least a month to build up into it, kind of like Finjuice. They had a few matches before they went and got the title shot. Easily, you can understand Finjuice. But when it comes to El Fantasmo, I feel nothing. Not because he's bad in the ring. He was very good in the ring. But this is not about if he's good in the ring or not. This is about a guy who's just been brought in from a rival promotion that has barely shown anything of itself on Impact Wrestling, which still doesn't give it anything. If you guys think that Impact Wrestling is gaining something from El Fantasmo, you got another thing coming, because he's barely been there 2 episodes. 2. Now he gets a number 1 contender shot at an Impact Plus show against Josh Alexander, no matter if those guys have known each other for a while or not. I want more time with the guy. I want to know who the hell he is. I want to know what the Bullet Club is. I am seeing it from a casual viewer and some hardcore fans that really don't look outside of United States or Canada. Remember, there are several people who maybe look in Europe, but not in Japan, or in Canada, but not in Japan. So I'm like just one of those people who doesn't see stuff in Japan much. I don't watch Pro Wrestling Noah. I don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling or All Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't see those companies. They don't really have English commentators to show what they're doing much, I don't think. So getting this shot now feels very rushed by Impact Wrestling. I'm saying it clearly. This is rushed by Impact. Rushed. Either because New Japan wanted to rush them to do this, or they themselves have rushed this. And instead of building this up to maybe Slammiversary, if they have El Phantasmo there for a while, they're not doing it. Again, what have I said to you? What is Impact gaining by being with these promotions? If they don't book the people from the promotion, what do you gain? Let's move on. Now, we had Violence by Design talking. And they're not blaming themselves. And this is what Eli says. No, not Eli. EY. I always get Eli Drake and EY mixed up. Maybe it's because I'm worried about when it comes to NXT and LA Knight. I am terrified that they're going to destroy this guy. Eli Drake is one of my most favorite wrestlers. Not just from Impact, but in wrestling. He can talk. He's charismatic. Yes, he may not be the greatest wrestler there is, but he is a ring general enough to make things work. And I'm worried they're going to destroy this guy if he goes on the main roster. I do believe he'll win the national title. The North American title. So I'm getting the national title and NWA mixed up because he used to be there. The North American title, I do believe he'll eventually get it. But I'm terrified they're going to screw him over. Now we look at Eric Young, who they did screw over with Sanity. And you see a big question mark with Violence by Design. Because Violence by Design is the only other faction in Impact Wrestling that is a staple next to DK. Now I know you're going to say, what about the Elite? Yes, the Elite is there, but they drift between both companies. And it doesn't feel like the Elite is a constant staple in Impact Wrestling. It is Violence by Design. And if you want to make things interesting, put Violence by Design up against the Elite after the situation when they go to Slammiversary, because that's coming. Slammiversary will come. They got to do something with Slammiversary. So he's saying that the disease is causing the problem, but there's a way to work around that, and that's what we're going to do. The question is going to be, what does that mean? Does it mean it's going to be important? Will it give Violence by Design an extra little push that they need to be in the main title scene of the world title, which they're going to have to do something. If the people that are in the end of the show can't really get it done, maybe Violence by Design will get it done with Eric Young. Maybe he might be a part of it. I'm just saying. Willie Mack versus, what is the guy's name? Sami Beals. This was not about Sami Beals. This was about the former Big Cass, Menacee. I believe that's his name. This was to show his dominance over Willie Mack, because he believes Willie Mack to be like the problem he saw in WWE. The staple of wrestling. He kicks the face off of him after he wins his match against Sam. And they're trying to really promote him as a monster. Good. The question's going to be, how far will they push the monster? That's going to be the question for me personally. Now, Brian Myers versus a Crazy Steve. I'm not even going to talk about the match. This wasn't about it. This was setting up their match, and this is Brian Myers and Dark Taru at Impact Plus, because it felt like this was just a reason to bring out Dark Taru again, because Brian Myers tricked the ref into thinking that Dark Taru hit him and he ejected him. So he couldn't be there at ringside. But when the match was over, and once he cheated to win, Dark Tyru came in and destroyed him. And then you see Rosemary put that death card on his chest. Now, like I said, Decay is the second only faction in there. They do need an extra person. They need a new person on there. So for me personally, they need an extra person. I don't know who. Since nobody really cares about Jimmy Havoc, I don't know who would be the best person. It might be someone from Dark Order that would be one of the best people. I would love it if Dark Order's Evil Uno went over there to help them. But they're not really sharing talent right now. They're just not. So, can't say anything. But I really believe if Evil Uno was working with Decay, like in what I did for my my Booking the Wrestler Impact Edition, you got Decay working with Dark Order. It sounds right, doesn't it? That's just me. Tell me below. Now, we had a BTI, which is before Impact Wrestling. I didn't realize they did that. Haven't been paying attention. But you had Jordynne Grace get beat by Tasha Steelz, and they had their little moment, and that's Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering. And they're trying to set something up so when they go to Under Siege, it'll mean something. Because Jordynne Grace is upset. She's pissed off that she lost to Tasha. And it's Rachel who's trying to console her and say, look, don't worry about it. We just got to stay focused. One of the things I love about you is you don't quit. But don't worry. We can handle it when we go to Under Siege. Now, you guys know how I feel about Rachel Ellering. She's missing something. I'm sorry. I'm not against her. I'm not. It's not because of how her body is shaped. It's not if she can't talk. It's just that I haven't seen enough of her to really get a good gauge of who she really is. She barely had anything in NXT. She's been on the indies for a while, and now she's here as a tag champ. And I don't feel anything from her yet. This is one of the first times I've heard her talk. And to be honest, it would be better if Jazz was there. I'm being honest here. Jazz is now supposedly a manager in Impact Wrestling. Where is Jazz? I said it before and I say it again. If Jazz was going to stay in the company, no longer wrestle generally, she needs to be a manager. She is the right person to manage people. Now, unless she's going to be doing the Hood Rats as her staple, which, honestly, if we're going to be honest, if taking away that they're all going to be black. Because, look, I'm not racist. I'm not prejudiced. A lot of times in some companies, particularly WWE, they always team all the black people up, all the Spanish people up, all the white people up, or Asians. I find that stupid. You should put them together if they got chemistry. Kind of like what happened with New Day. It just became a happenstance that Xavier Woods, Biggie Langston, and Kofi Kingston worked so well. I'm not expecting Tasha Steelz, Kira Hogan, and Jazz to work together. But if Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering could work with Jazz, why is she not there? Why? Unless she's sick or she's not with the company or they just don't think she should be out there, they're making a big mistake. They should have a manager. That's just me. Now, let me see, am I forgetting anything? Okay. The segment at Swingers Palace. The thing I was waiting for happened. Petey Williams had his moment. So, the key of this is after the exhibition match, and everyone was angry talking about the match they're going to have Under Siege for the tag titles and who's going to go after Finjuice. They're all arguing. Petey Williams is generally being asked by a TJP needed a partner, and Petey Williams comes out. He almost did Maple League Muscle, and he should be. Let's do this the way it is. Make Believe Muscle should be there, not Petey Williams, the regular Petey Williams. Bring out Make Believe Muscle, keep him as Make Believe Muscle, and let him jabber just like a... Scott Steiner's not in the company, but Petey Williams is. Let him be Make Believe Muscle alongside of a Manic. Make TJP Manic again, and then make a Petey Williams Make Believe Muscle. And you can say, hey, you know what? You guys only have a 1% chance of winning, but that 1% chance is 10 times more than mine. But even though it's a 10 times more than mine, you got a 66% chance of winning, which is a 4% chance of you, Ace Austin, eating the toes of your partner, and that is why we're going to win. I made no sense. And that's what I want from Petey Williams. Be make-believe muscle. Act stupid, but then bust some ass in the ring. That's what I want. Make Petey Williams make-believe muscle and make a TJP Manic again. But Manic doesn't have to talk. Let Petey Williams talk. Let his charisma as make-believe muscle get over more than anything. And if you gotta let TJP talk, make it brief. Make him the straight man and Petey Williams the one who just acts stupid. There you go. Let me see. Am I forgetting anything? If I am, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. You got the 6-man tag. You got Moose, Sami, and Chris Bay, the smooth criminal. Chris Bay just looks like he's getting better each time he gets in the ring. He just does. I still don't agree with the ultimate finesser. I still believe he's the smooth criminal who could steal a woman and a title right under your damn nose. That's just me. You guys tell me below. And then you got Trey, you got Cardona, as well as Sabin. A person who got the pin was Sami. Now, Moose looked great. Trey looked great. Sami was okay. But you really saw Moose and Trey the most in this match. And I'm not taking anything away from Cardona. I'm not taking anything away from anyone else. But you saw those two as the most apparent ones that looks like they can really be the ones going to win. You hear commentation trying to put everyone over, which was fine. But when you saw Sami win, and then when it was all over and you see the Don Callis watching the match with the Good Brothers, and then when the match was over and the Good Brothers walked away, Don looked nervous. Has it begun? That's the best title for this, for me personally. Look, guys, Under Siege is something interesting. The one I really would like to see win Under Siege should be Moose, because he's had the most strongest rise out of anyone in the last year and a half. He has. He went down here, then got the TNA title, had to try and find a way to get it over. He got up to here, then he lost the title, but he's still here. He's not here without the title. The title didn't make him. He got the title to help himself get over. There can either be one or two things. Either the title will make you, or you'll make the title. In this situation, the title made you, and that's Moose. So when you see the situation, he doesn't need the title anymore. He doesn't need to be TNA title champion. He can be Impact champion. He can be the face of the franchise of Impact Wrestling. So I do believe he would be the best person to get the title. But if they're going in this direction with a Sami Callihan, it's very dubious for me personally. Because look, I have said this for more than a year and a half. You guys know what I've been saying. When the situation with Sami and Tessa Blanchard happened, I said this 100%. Tessa is not acting like Chyna, and she's not acting like Daniel Bryan. She's acting like a woman who's been treated like crap, and women power be the one to prevail. And that's the wrong way to do it in pro wrestling. This is not about using your gender to get yourself over. This is about showing how charismatic you are. Showing how much of an underdog you are. And it doesn't have to be about you being a woman who's small. Tessa's never been a small woman. She's more cock diesel than most guys. But she was never booked correctly. And you let Sami Callihan kill himself and let him get a stick up his ass to try and put her over. Honestly, this has been a major issue for me. And now, you let him win this match, which supposedly gives a certain level of momentum going into Under Siege to see if he's going to be the next person to get the title match against Kenny Omega. Do I feel comfortable about this? No. But then at the same time, yes. I've said this before. He should have been in the main title scene months ago. But he's been drifting from one storyline to another, or having no storyline at all. I've never been against him helping Trey to become more established. But we're talking about a guy during the pandemic who should have been given the opportunity to try and get the damn title after Tessa was fired. No. I'm sorry. He wasn't even involved. He wasn't even involved in the storyline of Rick Swan getting that fucking title. He should have been. He should have been involved in that. Think about it. Back then, last year, wouldn't it have been epic to see Sami Callihan going against Rick Swan, a guy who he really generally loves like a brother in real life, because he's been watching out for him since Rick Swan's parents died. And then Sammy's own parents died. Those two are pretty much family in real life. They know each other, they know each other's families. This could have made something special last year, but we didn't get it. We got Eric Young coming back, and we got that. Now, mind you, I'm not against Eric Young, but that would have been a far better storyline than what we got. And it was good to see a Rick Swan win, but wouldn't it have been better for Sami? Now we got this, not knowing if Sammy's actually going to be pushed to go against Kenny. So I don't feel comfortable about this, but it has begun. I don't know what's the right thing here for Sami Callihan. Should he be pushed to the point where he can really beat Kenny Omega? Or should this just be because they wanted someone they wouldn't expect? I don't know. You guys tell me below. I hope you enjoyed this Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. And I'm sorry I didn't put any images in this one either. Like I said, I'm still sick. I'm still generally tired from my medicine. So I hope you guys understand that I'm still not doing it. But hopefully I will feel better enough. Eventually I'll be able to start putting thumbnails back into it, because I love doing that, to show what I'm talking about. Have a good day. Have a good night. Oh, I should upload my Gump report tomorrow. Peace.